Alrighty, so thanks again for joining Prequel Open House. I'm so excited to be joined with one of our all-star Prequel alumni, Kate, and we'll be getting into some introductions in a moment. So my name is Neha. I'm the head of admissions at Prequel, and my role is to scout ambitious teens who want to build a masterpiece project that helps them get into their dream school. I'm also a certified coach, public speaker, and media source on topics such as recruitment, technology, and the future of work. I've been invited to speak at universities such as Berkeley and NYU. I've also had some of my thoughts published in media outlets such as Business Insider and the Wall Street Journal. And I'll hand it over to Kate to share a little bit about herself, her project, and her story.
Of course. So my name is Kate, and I started using the Prequel program in my freshman year of high school. And because of that, and since then, I spent my entire high school building a top-ranked Substack newsletter to influence the way millions of moms and parents think about education for their kids. And so I write my newsletter every week. I'm at Stanford now, and it was because of my project and, everything that came from, writing this newsletter, meeting these incredible people, hosting online Twitter spaces, and, writing articles for and getting published in a multitude of different magazines and newspapers. All of that led me to Stanford, and I still publish every single week about education and, how parents can help their kids.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing, Kate. I'm so excited to dive into more of your story. I think you've had such a strong impact on not just your audience of moms, but also other students that are looking to get into their dream school, such as Stanford. So for those of you in the audience, you may be familiar with Prequel's mission. And if not, Prequel brings together ambitious high school students and trains them to build world-class projects that stand out to admissions officers at competitive colleges. And the reason we exist is because the average Ivy League applicant has great grades. They participate in a number of clubs and sports. At times, they have over 100 hours of volunteering, and yet only a 4% average acceptance rate. So what we found is that admissions officers care about applicants that stand out rather than applicants that blend in. So when you look at the math, you have over 1 million seniors that are volunteering every year. You have almost 2 million seniors that are playing on a school or community sports team. And so being well-rounded isn't the same as standing out. Top colleges want a well-rounded class, not well-rounded individuals necessarily. So they're looking for students that have accomplished something outside of the school walls. And we found that a masterpiece project is a must-have for top universities. So with solid academics and a solid SAT score, a masterpiece project gives you up to 75% chance of landing at a top university. And Kate, I'd love to understand how your masterpiece project helped you stand out when applying to your preferred schools.
Of course. So I guess the main part of my masterpiece is obviously writing about education. And I spent 4 full years working on this project. And, through my newsletter and, all of the other opportunities that I mentioned earlier, I've been able to influence thousands and thousands of parents and receive, messages from them saying that the words that I'm saying and the advice that I'm giving is changing their kids' lives. And it is the clear impact that my actions and my project has had on, other people and other parents and, things like that, that makes me stand out to colleges. And I saw a question about my high school stats. I had a 1600 SAT score and a 4.0 unweighted GPA. And so I was super strong academically, but there were so many other students in in Austin who had super strong test scores and academics, but I was the one that was able to kind of get into the schools that I wanted to, along with my friends who also went to Alpha and had a masterpiece. And it really is because of the fact that I've like influenced people and I have made an impact in the lives of the people around me, and have also shown that I have direction and am willing to be and have so much passion towards something that I'm willing to work hard and be a world changer. Those are the type of people that these schools want. So yeah, that's how my masterpiece like showed that that's who I am.
I appreciate that, Kate. So clearly you had the grades and you also had the initiative. So what I'm hearing is you were super driven. I know you spent all 4 years of high school working on your project. And so we're definitely looking for ambitious teens who are committed and dedicated to bringing their vision to life and impacting others through that vision. So that's just a little bit of what we look for in the admission criteria. And just going back to what we were talking about, colleges are looking for students that have past success, and that really shows that they will make a future impact. We're looking for students that change the world, right? So the next generation of change makers, if that's you, we definitely want to hear from you. So a few other stories from our alumni. Renzo is an example of a student who was a rising senior who joined and got accepted to Columbia based on his masterpiece project, building the largest AI-driven sign language app to make ASL learning accessible to millions. So that was his aspirational goal, and he's made some incredible progress towards that goal and got on Columbia's radar, and also won a few pitch competitions along the way. So joining Prequel opened up a lot of opportunities for him. And we also have Rhett, who launched a world-class mountain bike park. So he took his passion and is sharing that with other mountain bike enthusiasts. And he's raised over $3 million for his park. And we also have Maddie, who created a sold-out Broadway-style teen musical. So you'll see a lot of variety in the types of projects that students execute on. It could be a bootstrap business. It could be, a funded park. It could be a creative outlet. It could be, launching your media empire. So we like to have kids dream big and achieve the impossible. And there's no one way or right way to do this. It could even be a petition with thousands of signatures or a nonprofit. The idea is that you're challenging yourself and you're having real world impact with a viable project. And we teach you a number of skills along the way. So the way students are able to develop these projects is by learning skills in business and entrepreneurship, audience and distribution, as well as having an AI first approach. So you no longer need to hire teams. We actually teach you how to leverage AI to get more done. There's students who've built an app in a weekend using no-code platforms or low-code tools. So part of our curriculum is teaching kids how to be tech savvy, which is super important for the future of work. And this curriculum isn't being taught in schools today. So we're giving you an edge, not just for school, but professionally as well. And Kate, I would love to hear from you in terms of the skills that you learned at Prequel and how that's shaped your journey so far.
Of course. So definitely the number one skill that I had to learn was audience and distribution. I could sit and write like in my room, lights off, just like ignoring the world. I could write for ages. But obviously, that's not really going to impact people. It's not any sort of impressive at all. And so I had to learn how to really put myself out there and, reach out for do cold emails, cold DMs, cold calls, as well as learning how to post on X and posting, you know, um, every single day, writing long Twitter threads, and all of that. All of that, I got millions of views on all of the threads and content that I posted on Twitter, and was able to get 5,000 attendees for my Twitter space, which had speakers talking about education from all of like my heroes and my favorite content creation accounts on Twitter. And so it really was a massive change in my outlook and in my abilities. And so audience and distribution is by far the most
Mhm.
important skill that I learned through Prequel.
That's amazing. And I know it opened up so many opportunities for you. And I think a lot of students have amazing ideas, but without mastering the skills in audience building and that distribution, a lot of ideas don't really get the traction that they deserve. So you'll meet your college advisor, you'll get a personalized roadmap. Wherever you are in high school, they'll build a personalized roadmap until you graduate. What are the steps you need to take to get to your dream school? And you'll also be researching and figuring out what your idea should be, what the market trends are, and building a prototype, so a minimum viable product, and taking it to market to validate and refine the idea and getting your first wins, which could be your first 10,000 users, maybe $1,000 in revenue. So you get to set those goals, but our platform will actually break the goals down into manageable tasks for you to stay on course. And come September, you'll scale your project into a fully monetized masterpiece. You'll continue to grow your audience and influence and develop deep expertise in the area that you're building your masterpiece project in. You'll also master skills to help you scale any future projects. So you can apply these skills to multiple ideas down the road. And beyond your first year, you can continue your journey with Prequel to continue scaling your project by leveraging the coaching, resources, curriculum, guest speakers, and the college advising that's just going to set you up for success all the way up to graduation. And here's a sneak peek of our platform that breaks your project down into quarterly and yearly goals. You also get sprint tasks to stay on course. And then we actually ask you to submit a 2-minute video every 2 weeks, and it's shared with your parents. So they'll also be holding you accountable to make sure that you're making progress in your project. And there's a bit of friendly competition as well, which I'll get to in a moment. We actually offer incentives for the best progress updates. And along the way, you have expert coaches that are going to help you get unstuck and overcome challenges, and you can tap into their expertise. So each of our coaches actually comes from a startup background. They've either built a business or worked in a startup. Amin, for example, has deep technical and product expertise. So if you're looking to develop an app, he would be phenomenal to book some time with. Katerina is a powerhouse. She leads our programs. And Maria is the program guide who will actually proactively schedule a one-on-one with you on a monthly basis. You also see some experts on here with backgrounds in e-commerce, content creation. So JP, as an example, he's scaled a TikTok page to over 100,000 followers. So tapping into the collective genius of our coaches really helps you stand out as well. And that's something that not every program offers. Sometimes there's coaches or instructors that don't actually have a background in entrepreneurship, and that's what sets us apart. Kate, I'm curious, how did mentorship shape your project direction?
Definitely really helped me, especially with just being able to bounce ideas off. And also, again, I really, really struggled with audience building. And it was just something that I didn't want to do. And it was only because of the continuous encouragement from the guides with this program that allowed me to really get that going. And I mean, JP, we're still friends. JP is great. It'll be really, really fun for you guys to meet JP. He's really, really cool. And you just have to ask him for any sort of crazy story. He has a lot of lore. And then Katerina was also a huge, massive help for my masterpiece. And we still talk today about if she has any ideas or, anything for support. So yeah, the help is amazing. And I highly recommend this program, honestly, for just to take advantage of these incredible people.
I appreciate you sharing that. Most of my conversations with current students and alumni all point towards the coaches and mentorship making all the difference and probably being the most valuable aspect, because our coaches have real world experience and they're passionate about helping young students achieve more. Kate, did you want to share any last thoughts with students and parents who are interested in joining?
Yeah, I guess my advice for, um, you know, college and working on a project like this is really just to pick something that you truly love and you're willing to spend 4 years and, all of your time after school in those 4 years working on. Um, and to really just have fun with it because if you hate what you're doing, it'll be reflected and other people will be able to tell. And so make sure you're doing something that you love and that you want to spend, your high school career working on.
Thank you all for joining, and I'm sure I'll be chatting with some of you on my consult very soon. Thank you all. Enjoy your evening.